This story sounds like a movie script, but it is real. Imagine, an old shaft buried under the cold and dangerous earth of Yukon suddenly collapses, and inside the debris, Parker Schnabel's team finds a treasure that is said to be worth $75 million. Yes, that scene from Gold Rush that shook everyone. Parker has always been known for taking risks in the gold fields, but this time, the matter was different. Entering an old, half-broken tunnel, removing the soil from there and then suddenly getting a glimpse of shining gold. This is not the climax of a Hollywood movie, but the reality of Gold Rush. But the question is this really Parker's biggest jackpot till date? Or is there some other big secret hidden behind this pile of gold? People say that the earth of Yukon not only holds gold, but also dangerous stories. When Parker and his team went down, perhaps they did not even know what danger they were going to play with. Collapsed tunnels, falling rocks from above, and life-threatening dangers at every moment. But when gold shone in the rays of light, the team's breath stopped. What is the truth behind this $75 million gold jackpot? Is this the turning point of Parker's career? Or are there bigger dangers to come after this discovery? The suspense begins from here. To know the whole story, it is important to watch the video till the end, because what is about to be revealed will shake the world of Gold Rush. If you don't want to miss these amazing Gold Rush stories and Parker's next big discovery, subscribe to the channel now and turn on notifications. Background of Yukon and collapsed shaft. The story begins with Yukon. This place may sound like a remote, cold land, but in the world of gold mining, just hearing its name brings the glitter of treasure before the eyes. The Klondike Gold Rush that started in 1896 put Yukon on the world map forever. Thousands of people left their homes and came here only in the hope that they would find gold as soon as they dug the soil. And it happened many times. Since then, people started calling Yukon Gold Land or Land of Treasures. But as precious as the gold here is, extracting it is equally dangerous. The mining shafts that were made in those times to extract gold were of a very temporary type. Deep pits were dug by installing wooden support beams, and soil was covered on top. With the passage of time, this wood would rot, the soil would collapse, and many times the entire shaft would collapse. These are called collapsed shafts. If a person got trapped inside, it was impossible to get out. On top of that, the cold earth, seeping water, and lack of oxygen, all these together made it a death well. Now, why do people like Parker Schnabel go down into such dangerous places? Because the old-time miners would often leave after doing half the work. Gold would be found, but sometimes at such a depth that it was not easy to extract it. They would leave the shaft, and they would slowly fall and get buried in the rubble. That is, these places become time capsules of potential treasure. Parker got a clue about an old shaft in Yukon. Some say that it was found on an old map, which was marked by miners around 1900. Some people believe that Parker got this tip from a rumor or a local miner, and some reports say that the Discovery Channel team found a mention of it in old archives during research. Whatever the reason, this was not an opportunity for Parker to miss. The passion for gold runs in his blood, and whenever he finds a hidden source, he does not back off. But this time, the risk was much bigger. Going into a collapsed shaft meant putting your life at stake. Soil or rocks could fall from above at any time. But Parker knew, risk high to reward be high. This was the reason why he turned towards this old and dangerous shaft in Yukon. At that time, Probably no one had any idea that this journey would take him to the $75 million gold jackpot. Parker's preparation and team. When Parker Schnabel found out about that old and collapsed shaft in Yukon, he first understood one thing. This work is not like any normal day mining. The risk here was very big. Parker has always been a risk taker, but this time the risk could cost him his career as well as his life. First of all, Parker made a mining strategy. His plan was clear. Instead of digging the shaft straight, first the soil would be removed from all sides so that the pressure would be reduced a little. Then gradually the path would be cleared by making small sections. Parker knew that if he stepped inside without thinking, a big rock falling from above could bury the entire team. Now comes the matter of his team. Parker never does anything alone. His trusted team is always present with him. Mitch Blaschke, Parker's most trusted friend and master of machinery. If a big machine breaks down, Mitch is the only person who can fix it. People like Rick and Brennan have been working with Parker for many seasons, and they also knew that Parker's stubbornness means something big is going to happen. There were also new faces in the team who were going to be a part of such a big risk for the first time. When it comes to machinery, Parker left no stone unturned. Big excavators, dump trucks, and most importantly, drilling machines. These machines were installed specifically so that the soil could be removed slowly before going inside the shaft, and the pressure above could be kept under control. Parker also made strong safety arrangements. Helmets, oxygen masks, ropes, and emergency exit plan were all ready, because Parker knew that life is more valuable than gold. But to be honest, the atmosphere was not light. Fear was clearly visible on the faces of the team. No one even dreams of going into a collapsed shaft. Darkness, falling stones, seeping water. Every step was like inviting death. Some people even tried to convince Parker that it was not worth the risk, but Parker's answer was always the same. If gold was that easy, everyone would have mined it. This was Parker's thinking. For him, the greed for gold was not just about money, but about carrying forward his name, his passion, and the legacy of his grandfather, John Schnabel. In Parker's eyes, only that was the jackpot, and everything else was just noise for him. When the team finally got ready and the machines started, the atmosphere there looked like a battlefield. Everyone was scared, but Parker's persistence and the dream of gold were overpowering that fear. Everyone had only one question in their mind. Is there really a treasure worth $75 million hidden inside this collapsed shaft? The journey inside the collapsed shaft. When Parker Schnabel and his team finally decided to descend into that collapsed shaft of Yukon, the atmosphere had completely changed. People standing outside were just listening to the sound of machines, but the real story was being written inside that dark, dangerous tunnel. As soon as the team took the first step into the shaft, a strange cold and dampness welcomed them. It was pitch dark inside. Only the walls were shining with the dim light of headlamps. Wet soil, broken wood, and the dripping sound of seeping water all around were creating an atmosphere of fear. There was danger at every step. Small stones kept falling from above, and every time the team's heart stopped beating after hearing the sound. No one could understand whether the next moment would be safe or fatal for them. Parker kept encouraging the team again and again. Walk slowly. Be careful. Just a little further. As they moved inside, the air started feeling thin and heavy. Oxygen masks were needed. In some places, the water had seeped in so much that they had to walk in mud and water up to their knees. The cameras were recording everything, but the real fear was not fully captured in the camera. It was only visible in the eyes of the team. And then came the moment which Parker and his team were waiting for. As soon as the light of the headlamp fell on a wall, something shone from there. At first, everyone thought that it was just a wet rock, but as soon as Parker removed the soil with his hand, the shine became more intense. This was not an ordinary rock, but a large piece of gold which was half buried in the soil. The whole team became silent for a few seconds. Only the sound of breathing and heartbeat could be heard. Parker immediately looked towards the camera. There was both shock and happiness in his eyes. The rest of the team was also in disbelief, as if someone had seen gold in a dream and it suddenly became a reality. Mitch said softly, "Holy, this is really gold." And that line made everyone forget their fear for a moment. Everyone came closer to see that shining piece. The camera clearly captured the first glimpse of that gold. That moment was perhaps the most suspenseful and the biggest moment in the history of Gold Rush. But Parker knew that this was just the beginning. If gold is so clearly visible at one place, then there must be more hidden treasures around it. Now, there was less fear and more greed in the eyes of the team. That greed, which forced them on that dangerous journey through the collapsed shaft. $75 million gold jackpot. The first glimpse of gold inside the tunnel had shaken Parker and his team, but the real story began when they started digging all around. Parker signaled his team, "Remove the soil slowly. It is possible that not just one piece, but a whole treasure is buried here." And that is what happened. As the soil was removed, more pieces of gold started coming out of the ground. At some places, big gold nuggets were buried, while at other places, gold dust and flakes were stuck to the walls. There were some big chunks which had to be removed using machines. The shine was so strong that the headlamp light mixed with it, and the entire shaft was bathed in golden color. The reaction on Parker's face at that moment was clearly captured in the camera: surprise, happiness, and a little nervousness too. He looked at the camera and said, "Just this. This is insane. I can't believe this." The rest of the team also started laughing, looking at each other, but the greed and surprise was clearly visible in their eyes. Then came the turn of the biggest count. When all the gold was collected and weighed, everyone's breath stopped after seeing the figure. Parker's team estimated that they had found gold worth about $75 million from this collapsed shaft. This was a record-breaking moment not only for Parker, but for the entire history of the Gold Rush show. So far in Gold Rush, we have seen miners like Parker, Tony Beats, and Todd Hoffman make big discoveries many times. Someone made a season of $10 million, while someone took out 5,000 ounces of gold. But the jackpot of $75 million, this was beyond anyone's imagination. This was the biggest gold find of Parker's career so far, a moment that made him not just a champion of mining, but a legend of Gold Rush. This discovery was so big that even the production team of the show was stunned. It is said that even the crew behind the camera shouted, "Oh my God!" Parker himself was speechless for several minutes. For him, this was not just the price of gold, but the biggest reward for his hard work, risk, and the legacy of his grandfather, John Schnabel. And if we compare, Parker alone found more gold from this one collapsed shaft than the entire team had extracted together in the previous season of Gold Rush. This is why this discovery is called the game-changer moment of the show. That day, that dark and collapsed shaft of Yukon gave Parker Schnabel what he had been searching for since childhood: a golden jackpot that shook the entire mining world. Dangers and difficulties. The journey to extract gold looks as golden as it is scary. Every step in that collapsed shaft of Yukon was like playing with death for Parker and his team. People watching from outside might have thought that everything was under control, but the situation inside was different. The walls of the shaft were so weak that soil and stones could collapse any time. Many times, big pieces would fall from above, and the team members would have a narrow escape. Once, a rock fell right next to Mitch. If he had been just one step ahead, perhaps the story would have been different today. At that very moment, Parker shouted loudly and signaled everyone to stop and ordered to check the tunnel again. Some people from the team also got injured. Someone got a cut on his hand. Someone got a minor injury on the head. There was so much soil and dust that for some time, 2 people from the team started feeling difficulty in breathing. They had to be taken out wearing oxygen masks. Parker himself admits that if they had made a mistake of even 1 second, the entire operation could have ended there. Seeing so many difficulties, the team often wondered if they should stop now. Some even told Parker straight away, "This treasure is not bigger than life." But Parker's answer was always the same. "If we leave it now, we will regret it for the rest of our lives." This stubbornness kept forcing the team to move forward again and again. Now, let's talk about Discovery Channel. Whatever was shown on camera was just half the truth. On TV, we were shown Parker's hard work, the shine of gold, and the team's victory. But the real dangers, accidents, and the fear that was written on the team's faces every second, a large part of it never came in front of the public. It is said that the production team cut some footage so that this journey would not look too dangerous on TV. But reports from local people and inside crew tell that the conditions were much worse than shown on TV. Imagine, if every injury, every accident, every rockfall moment was shown in the show, then the audience would have been scared, and it would have seemed crazy to the team. But Parker and his team faced all that and finally won that $75 million jackpot. So it would not be wrong to say that this season of Gold Rush was not just a search for gold, but a battle between life and death. Parker's team proved that getting gold is not easy, and sometimes this journey can prove to be more dangerous than the price. Reaction of fans and media. As soon as Parker Schnabel's $75 million gold jackpot was shown in Gold Rush, fans all over the world went crazy. Social media went wild. Thousands of posts started coming on Twitter, now X, Facebook, and Instagram. Some were calling Parker the King of Yukon, while others were calling him the biggest legend of Gold Rush till date. The clips went viral on YouTube. With millions of views, people were watching the same moment again and again when Parker and his team saw the first glimpse of gold. Everyone in the comments section was writing the same thing. This was a bigger scene than any Hollywood movie. The fans' craze was such that many people were considering Parker no less than a superhero. Some memes also went viral, where Parker was shown holding a gold nugget instead of Thor's hammer. Long threads were created on forums like Reddit. Did Parker really find so much gold, or did Discovery exaggerate it? These discussions increased the suspense on the entire internet. Now let's talk about the media. Headlines appeared in big news portals and newspapers. Parker Schnabel hits $75 million gold jackpot. Gold Rush history made in Yukon. Collapsed shaft turns into treasure cave. Many news channels took Parker's name in prime time. In interviews, Parker was repeatedly asked the same question. Did you have any idea that you were going to get such a big jackpot? Parker would smile every time and say, "We took a risk, but no one had imagined such a big result." This discovery took Parker's popularity to the skies. He was already the star of Gold Rush, but now he was not just a TV personality, but became an icon of the mining world. People now started considering him not just a part of the show, but the face of gold hunting. His followers on social media suddenly increased to millions. Fans started sharing old clips of him and saying, "Look, Parker was different since childhood." Even some gold investment companies started promoting using Parker's name. Another interesting thing happened. Many new people from all over the world started watching the Gold Rush show. Those who had never watched the show before joined just to see Parker's amazing discovery. As a result, the show broke TRP records. Overall, Parker's $75 million jackpot was not just big because of the gold, but it also took Gold Rush to a new level. Parker was no longer just a gold digger, but had become a global sensation. Hidden questions and theories. Parker Schnabel's $75 million gold jackpot was as surprising as it was full of questions. As soon as the news came out, a new debate started among fans and experts. Was that much gold really found? Or was it just a part of what was shown on TV? Some people believe that Discovery Channel exaggerated the amount of gold to make the story more dramatic. They argued that the biggest piece was always shown on camera, but in reality, that much amount was probably not found. Many people were writing on Reddit and social media. If Parker really found $75 million, why didn't the government or investors come forward? This question still hangs in the air. On the other hand, the history of the Yukon itself is mysterious. Stories from many old miners tell that they had deliberately hidden some part of their treasure. The reason? Either they wanted to come back but never could, or the gold was so dangerous to extract that they left it there. Many locals believe that gold had been found in the shaft where Parker went earlier, but the entire treasure was not brought out. So, was what Parker found just a trailer, and the real treasure is still buried in the soil of Yukon? Apart from this, Yukon has another scary identity, the Yukon Curse. Local legends say that every big gold find here brings some misfortune with it. In the olden days, many miners suddenly disappeared. Some died in mysterious accidents, and some were robbed of their gold. So the question is Parker's discovery also the beginning of some dark truth? Some fans say that after the show, Parker and his team maintained a strange silence, as if they did not want to tell everything. There is no dearth of theories on the internet. One theory also says that the gold that Parker took out was only the part found on the surface, and the real jackpot is still hidden deep down. Some say that Discovery Channel deliberately did not show the entire footage so that the suspense remains in the next season. At the same time, some people also believe that Parker kept the location of the real gold secret so that no other miner could claim it. All these discussions made Parker's discovery even more mysterious. Perhaps only Parker and his team know what the truth is, but one thing is certain. The mountain of questions standing behind this jackpot is much bigger than the jackpot itself. Parker's future and next step. The $75 million gold jackpot was not just a discovery for Parker Schnabel, but a turning point in his career that further strengthened his identity. Earlier, people knew him as a young miner or John Schnabel's grandson. But now Parker has become the real face of the Gold Rush empire through his hard work and risk. The effect of this discovery was clearly visible on his career. Parker is no longer just a part of a TV show, but has become a big name in the gold industry. Investors, media, and mining experts all started looking at him. And Parker himself knows that after this jackpot, there is only one way for him: to go deeper. Both the team and fans are wondering what Parker will do next. Will he find more collapsed shafts in the Yukon? Will he dig more around the gold already found? Parker even said in an interview, "This is just the beginning. The real story is yet to come. This one line made the fans even more crazy. Because if $75 million is just the beginning, then imagine what's going to happen next. And yes, this jackpot was no less than a boon for the Gold Rush show as well. The show's TRP skyrocketed, and now everyone is waiting for the next season. The producers also understood that Parker's stubbornness and his risk-taking style is the show's biggest strength. So friends, Parker's $75 million gold jackpot from that collapsed shaft in Yukon became the biggest moment in the history of Gold Rush. But the question still remains, where will this take Parker? Imagine, if so much gold can be found in a collapsed shaft, then how much more treasure is buried under the soil of Yukon? Will Parker go deeper next time? Or will the stories of Yukon's curse dominate him after this discovery? All these things remain a mystery even today. But one thing is clear. Parker has proved that gold is not just found by luck, but by courage, determination, and putting one's life at stake. This discovery has given Parker the position every miner seeks. The climax is that Parker's journey is not over yet. The $75 million jackpot was just the first step for him. And as he said, "This is just the beginning." This line is the biggest suspense of this whole story. So will Parker find an even bigger treasure next time? Or will Yukon keep its secrets hidden forever? The answer will be found in the times to come, and in the next season of Gold Rush. And yes, if you don't want to miss Parker's next discovery and the hidden stories of Yukon, then subscribe to the channel now and press the bell icon, because the truth to come is even bigger, and you won't want to miss it.